got our own theme song. We never hear it though on this side. Like every once in a while, I hear it as I'm trying to get on another video, and one of ours pops up, and I was like, "Is that how the show begins?" Really, kids, before the show begins, we're sitting back here going, "The fuck do we do?" And then we play it all. Then we're like, we're middle-aged men and we're rocking out.
Air guitar, twilly twilly.
You know what? I want to first off, kids, welcome to Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey.
Oh.
Please, I know nobody, people feel it's like this is a hot topic and people feel it's safer to stay away from it, and they're absolutely right. But I'm just gonna. Can you feel the change out there, man? Like in the world, like there's hope again because we were things were looking fucking bleak. Let's be real honest, man. And fucking if you read the news just beat it over and over again and shit. And now fucking Marvel is back, bitch. Between Deadpool and fucking Downey as Doom, the 3D weekend that Marvel had, the timeline's been fucking reset, bitch. Captain America might have just saved us all. However, I've since seen online that some people don't share the same opinion as I do. So I guess that's something we'll talk about on today's episode, man. It's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con centric episode, kids, because me and Marc Bernardin, well, we just got back from the San Diego Comic-Con, didn't we, Marc?
We did indeed. Hopefully, neither of us have the Rona.
Why? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. Like what people usually catch, 1 out of every 3 people catch like the con crud, because simply you're surrounded by 100,000 people, some of which are healthy, some of which aren't. You're in lots of contact, you're shaking hands, you're hugging, kissing, making out, bodily fluids, whatever. I don't know whose con you're having. I know what my cons are like. And so you come away with a cold. But now in California, the Rona's on the rise. And so now a lot of the con crud has a couple more dashes on a test for you.
I just fucking said hope was alive, man. Don't fucking start bringing Rona into this. Fuck. No Rona on this side so far.
I had it a week before the convention, so I showed up bulletproof. I was just raw.
Did you really get COVID a week before the convention?
Yeah, I did. I was in a writer's room, and 5 of the 8 people came down with it. So, and I was
who was patient 0 in the writer's room?
A lovely woman who's a friend of mine who thought she was negative, but turned out to be positive. Very positive lady.
Very positive, apparently.
Quite. But yeah, and so I for about a week I was battling round 3 of the Rona, but cleared up just in time to drive down to San Diego.
I think you are the only person I know who's had it that many times.
Yeah, well, I'm a pioneer.
Going for that record. I noticed my pin wasn't high enough, man. I'm wearing a John Belushi pin over here, and of course I've got snicked like a motherfucker on this side.
Oh hell yeah!
The Belushi pin is in honor of a younger version of myself, Mr. Marc Bernardin, because this, I regret to inform you all, is the absolute last episode of Fat Man Beyond that I will ever be doing. Wait for it. In my 53 years. Next time we do this, I will be 54. I have a birthday coming up, Marc.
Oh, you are an August baby. I know this.
Right, man. August 2nd, I turned 54. So this is my last fucking Fat Man of 53, man.
Oh.
Yeah. And some would be like, why are you even doing this in your 50s? Why is a grown-ass man? My father, if he was alive, would be like, why is a grown-ass man even still talking about this stuff? I'd be like, Dad, crazy how profitable it can be, man. We do a show. I said, Dad, in the future, me and my friend Marc Bernardin do a show called Fat Man Beyond. And just by sitting around and talking about fucking movies and shit and going like, hey, man, Dr. Doom is Robert Downey Jr. Like, that's my job. in the future.
We will make tens of dollars.
Yeah, we get decades of bucks doing it. Decades, Dad. It's all about the Benjamins, and it really just it is. What is Ben Franklin on the 10 or was
No, he's on the hundo.
Oh well, Dad, it's not about the Benjamins. It's about who's on the $10 bill.
Jackson?
Hamilton.
Oh, Banff Man popping in with some useful information.
We're not throwing away our shot.
Look, I only know who's on the $1 bill because in the movie Batman, 1989, Tim Burton, as the Joker is defacing the museum, he points to George Washington and he goes, the $1 bill. That's how I learned that. In 1989. I was 19 years old. I was on the verge of being 19. I was only 18. But movies will teach you shit.
Are Batman you going to trade out the Belushi button for a Studio 54 button in honor of your 54th birthday?
I hadn't thought about it, but I guess I should. But I don't know what kind of message that sends. It sends a message that it's like, I'm ready to do amyl nitrate poppers and fucking dance all night with Ralph Lauren. Like, you know, that's never been me. That's
Donna Summer's gonna make you a man.
Look, I'm fucking all about Donna Summer, but I will listen to Donna Summer in the confines of my vehicle where I could sing it at the top of my lungs and cry like a fool as MacArthur Park is melting in the dark. But I don't need to do it publicly with other celebrities and shit like that. 30 years in this business, Mark. I'm kind of proud of the fact that I don't really like hang with celebrities. You'll never see me at the latest thing. You know, and as a 54-year-old man, why would I be at the latest thing? Even if I had my finger on the pulse and I was in charge of the latest thing, like let's say I was like Mr. Stranger Things. I like the Duffer brothers, is that their names? I don't see them engaging in fucking all the shit that comes along with it. Those kids seem to have gone into a fucking cement building and they ain't come out for like a decade. Now, when they come out, seems like there's going to be piles of money waiting for them to do with whatever they want and stuff.
Tens of dollars.
Yeah, but they're not thinking about fucking what's like, oh, I got to go to the latest parties and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody left in your world who's like, I got a party, man, party hardy.
Well, I ran into a lot of them at Comic-Con.
I guess you do know some. Yeah, there's a lot of parties there. And you fuck with the parties at Comic-Con, don't you? Don't you, Mark? You fuck with them, don't you? Tell them.
I fucks with them so that I can be standing 3 people away from the famous person who gets to be like, here's Quinta Brunson and Patrick Schumacher and guest. And I get to be and guest.
I'm going to institute a new drinking game here on Fat Man Beyond. Every time I adjust my cap, drink.
Oh, I mean, I'm an alcoholic. I've been doing that for 15 years.
That's why I learned the game. I was like, it seems every time I adjust my hat, Mark takes a drink. Let's institute it for everybody.
This is Celsius. This is filled with something else entirely.
I saw famous people. You saw famous people, and we have so much to share, man. But to close out the thought of me talking to my father in the past and telling him what the future's like and how we can actually make a living off of fucking talking about goofy ass movies and shit. My father was a smart man, Mark. He read the newspaper. So he would ask a question. Like a good scientist, he'd ask a question. And his question would be like, well, how do you make the money? And I'd say, Dad, ads. And he'd say, ads? Like, what kind of ads? And I was like, well, every episode of Fat Man Beyond is sponsored by some company, some organization, some cool ass people. And in this case, today's sponsor, kids, is Mando.
Mando!
Mark couldn't wait to say that.
Oh, I've been waiting all fucking day.
Tell them what Mando is, man. What's the most valuable thing in the world, Mark?
I mean, for
Conan, what is best in life?
Watch your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women.
But exactly. And what's the second most valuable thing in life?
It's time.
That's right.
Managing and worrying about body odor used to take up a lot of my time. I was paranoid about smelling, especially around midday. It was all extremely time consuming, but not anymore. Since I switched up Mando whole body deodorant, I freed up so much time. Time to buy my favorite back issues of comic books at a convention. Time to be on panels at San Diego. Time to sign books at various publisher booths.
Are you kidding me? It's that effective and long lasting?
Dude, it's super effective and long lasting. And here's why. because Mando doesn't cover up odor after the fact with heavy fragrances like certain other deodorants. It stops odor at the source by blocking the bacteria on your skin from eating your sweat, which is the actual cause of BO. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I
just thought
didn't, man. I'm going to be 54. I didn't know that.
now you learned a thing, right?
Yeah. Taught by
That's
Mando.
Mando. So what does that mean? It means Mando is clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours. And that's a long ass time. So give yourself the precious gift of time and get yourself some Mando whole body deodorant. There's a special offer, man. New customers get $5 off Mando's best-selling starter pack with the code FATMAN at shopmando.com.
Here, man. You keep saying a thing. I'm gonna go grab something and show some cats something.
You go show some stuff. The first time I used Mando, honestly, was this past week at Comic-Con. And if there's one thing that you'll remember if you ever go to a comic book convention, but one as big as San Diego, you will encounter lots of odors on those convention floors. You will stumble through fog banks of funk, through mists of just misty people. But you know what I did? I put on some fucking Mando, right? Put it under my pits, put it under my tits, put it under my belly.
You mean this?
Look at that shit, man.
That
looks like
what, Mark? But what if you're like me and you're like, you know what? I'm about to be 54. I've been fucking using roll-on deodorants for 54 years. Show me something new. Bring me new technology. Mando does deodorant fucking wipes, bitch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Look at that, man. So you can put these in your man bag, and then when it's out, it's like San Diego, rip it open, do some of this shit. Whore's bath, I believe they call it back in the day. Look at this goddamn Mando cleansing bar.
Ooh.
This right here is the Invisible Clean deodorant. So it's like, you know, the cream you put on.
Oh,
man, they really are against you ever stinking, man. This urban leather. Fuck, bro. Ooh. You want to smell like a man? Mando's got you covered.
That sounds like an alcoholic saddle.
Luckily, let me tell you something. We got a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market, man. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack, man. Use that code FATMAN, all one word, FATMAN, at shopmando.com, shopmando.com, man. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash or them deodorant wipes, and free shipping, man. Come on, what are you waiting for? We thank the good folks at Mando. Shopmando.com, kids. And don't
Mando.
One more time for the cheap seats.
Mando. Shopmando.com.
Not affiliated with Skywalker. All right, man. We thank the good folks at Mando for letting this happen. And there, my father would be like, "Oh, so Mando pays you in the future."
He does. In best
like that, it's very complicated. Just fucking with this little time we have together. Like, can I ask you some of the big questions I never got to ask you before you left this world? It's like, I'm really interested in how you make money off podcasting. You're not Joe Rogan's son. I was like, no, Dad, I'm not Joe Rogan.
In so many ways.
Yeah, fuck, man. Yes, he's a billionaire. My father, I love my father. Do not get me wrong by any stretch of the imagination. But my father was a bit of a TP early in my career. Remember TP from Jerry Maguire? So it'd be like, he's too little to be in. I always said he was too little. You know, always has kind of an undercutting comment and stuff. My father, like, I'd be like, oh my God, did you see the review in the New York Times? And he'd be like, yeah, but did you see the review in the Asbury Park Press? You know, and the one he was referencing wasn't that great. Yeah, that was, it took a little while to kind of be like, Dad, I know. How about we just concentrate on the good ones? Yeah. But honestly, he didn't know how to fucking deal with what was going on. Like, all of a sudden, his idiot son was in the newspapers and stuff. And, I tried to communicate to him what an essential part of that process he was by bringing me to the movies as a kid and stuff. But hopefully he got it before, he left this world. Good God, shit got mellow. I'm not here to talk about dead dads. I mean, unless we're talking about
from
Batman.
Mando to, geez, Dad.
I know. No, the only dead fathers we talk about here are superheroes' fathers who died. It is the close of Comic-Con weekend, kids. It just happened and shit. You couldn't miss it because it was all over the news, particularly because Marvel brought the house fucking down, man, with something that I believe we have said many times on this show. Like over the course of time, for years I've been saying, like, just fucking bring Robert Downey Jr. back and throw $1 zillion at him. Like, he doesn't have to be Tony Stark, or he could be Tony Stark from another world, since we're in the multiverse thing. But you know, I always felt like he was the linchpin. And yes, of course, watching Tony Stark give his life, you know, is everything. And I would never want them to undercut that. But I absolutely love Robert Downey Jr. So this news was fucking big for me, man. I was in Hall H backstage because I had the next panel. You know, at 7:30, it was Kevin Smith on Hall H. And let me tell you the vast difference between those two shows. You couldn't fit another soul into the 6,500 seater in Hall H for that Marvel panel and stuff. When the Marvel panel ends, it empties out. And then, and I'm not saying nobody fucking shows up, man. There was, when I first started doing Hall H, it was a 3,000 seater. Now it's a 6,500 seater. I felt I was at half or three quarters by the time like my Q&A was all done and stuff like that, which for a guy that's not like, ladies and gentlemen, fucking Harrison Ford and some of the, and 100 of the most expensive people in Hollywood. Like, you know, it's just me on a stage. Like when I got there, they were like, how many chairs should we put out? I was like, just me. Like, it's just you, no panel. I said, no, just me. I'm going to show trailer and bullshit and Q&A and stuff like that. So during the Marvel panel backstage, you can't fucking move. Like it's crowded and shit. You pick a place, stay there and stuff, because bodies are coming in and out. Fucking some of the most famous people in the world surrounded by fucking security and shit like that. But then when the Kevin Smith panel's going on, oh, you could tumbleweeds roll through the backstage area. Like it's just such a vast difference. So
Olympic breakdancing.
I do the last year I didn't do Hall H, and neither did Marvel for that matter and stuff. Drink everybody. This year I didn't want to miss it. So I was there for it like big time. But honestly, part of the reason I do the Marvel panel, my Hall H panel, is so that I could go to the Marvel panel and sit backstage. So I did that. Like, here, before we get there, how about this? We'll build up to that. We'll build up to the Hall H Marvel panel, which you would think me talking about my own Hall H panel would be the defining moment of my San Diego Comic-Con, but I am such a big fucking RDJ fan that, like, I was like, Kevin Smith, man, who gives a fuck? Like, everything's right with the world. How many days were you down there? I was just down there for the Saturday.
I was there. I got there Wednesday night. So I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I drove back to LA on Sunday. So like the 4 good days, 3-4 good days, and like had a lovely time. I always do. You know, I was on like 3 or 4 panels. I moderated a panel with your friend and mine, Dave Dismalchin.
Oh shit, how's he doing?
He's great. He's the busiest dude I've ever met, and I know you, so that's saying something. But he was
no, but the difference is he's not busy with a bunch of volunteer things that make no money whatsoever. Like Dave Dismalchin is probably one of the richest people we know at this point. He works so much, and he works like these are jobs, and he's also now add to it a producer because he produced the Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, and he's a comic book writer. He's writing like
comics
books. He's leaving in September to go shoot One Piece season 2. So he'll be in like South Africa for like 3 months, making a giant Netflix pirate show. Like, and is still the sweetest dude in the world. Absolutely lovely. Went to a couple of parties, saw some old friends, shook some hands, kissed some babies. You know how one does. Lost my second Eisner nomination. So I'm 0 for 2.
What were you up for?
It was best reality-based work for the Muhammad Ali graphic
Muhammad
novel,
Ali thing.
um, which lovely to be nominated. Always glad that the judges see some worth, but as with most things, the awards are personality sort of ratifications. And so I don't know. I mean, I know that I don't read every book that's nominated for an Eisner that I vote for. Um, so like, hey, I'll take the nomination and go. I'm zero strong and proud. Two noms, no wins. Uh, but I feel good about it.
Let me tell you something. Feel very good about it because I've never been nominated for an Eisner, and I doubt I'll ever will be. So it sucks that you didn't walk away with it twice now, but that just means third time's the fucking charm,
Third
son.
time's the charm. So yeah,
Um, so that was your. So when were the Eisners? What night was that?
Friday night. Friday night. So
Friday night. Just
didn't
got paid. Didn't win an Eisner. Fuck
get
this
laid.
place. All right. So what was your Saturday like?
Saturday was I had a signing at Dark Horse for Census and Anansi Boys, at a signing at Distillery for The Devil's Cut, the anthology that I have a story in. I was on a TV writing panel at 10 a.m., which was great. Um, and then I had a dinner with said TV writers. I had a cocktail party at 5 o'clock, and then I had the EW party on Saturday night, where apparently President Thaddeus Ross rolled into at the very end. Oh,
There's Birdie in the background.
oh
One of
wow,
my
wow,
German
EPO,
shepherds.
EPA.
She's
Wow.
very interested in broadcasting. She too is like, how do you make money off this podcast? I was like, honestly, like I explained it to my dad, my dead dad. I'm not explaining it to you.
Woof, there it
The
is.
dog looked at me like I was crazy. Um,
How was your Saturday?
I drove down early, took an hour and 55 minutes to get there when I left at 5:30 in the AM.
Oh, that'll do it.
Mm. I got PTSD from the Clerks 2 year, 2006. Like it was a 6 hour drive.
Oh.
And I was stuck in traffic while my panel, that was when they used to put my panel in the middle of the day at Hall H. So I was supposed to be on stage at like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and I was still in traffic. So Rosario was on stage doing the Q&A on cell phone, until I lost connection. I was like, and then they let me do a Q&A like at the end of the night. And I think that was part of the reason they moved me to nights as well. Main reason being that I cursed a lot and they had kids in the audience. And back in the day, they wouldn't empty Hall H. They would just let you sit there. If you got a seat, you could sit there all day long. And then they started emptying the place out, refilling it, empty it, refilling it. So I drove down, got there early. I had the Simpsons panel. I moderated it at noon.
Mm-hmm.
Which was awesome. Matt Selman, the showrunner, was nice enough to be like, "Hey, man, you want to do this?" And I said, "Fuck, God, yes." Matt Groening was a part of it.
As was a certain vice president, correct?
Yeah, they showed a clip at the end. Like he brought this thing. He's like, "Oh, this is the Simpsons fan doing lines from the show," and it was the vice president doing, a line from the Treehouse of Horror. I want to say season 6 or 7, where the aliens are running. Kang and Kodos are running, for fucking government, like abortions for all, ooh, abortions for some, hey, tiny flags for some, abortions for others, like that episode. And I guess at one point, one of the lines he says is like something, and always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom. So she read that quote. It was from like 2 years ago. It wasn't like anything she did for the panel,
Mm.
but based on the fact that like, well, I don't follow the news, Mark, but I'm told that Kamala Harris is in the news a lot lately.
It's a
Uh,
thing.
they seized upon the moment to be like, "Hey, man, guess who's also a fan of The Simpsons? And who isn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking The Simpsons are absolute magic." And it was an honor to be up on stage with the people that keep it going. And like some of them have been there for a while. Like one guy was like, "I've been here since season 7." I was like, Jesus.
It is amazing that you can have watched like 14 seasons of The Simpsons and that not even be half.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking the other day, this is crazy. I was walking the dogs and I was thinking they're coming up on, I think, their 1,000th episode or something. Like, you know, maybe they're within 100, 200 episodes of 1,000 or something like that.
Wow.
Which technically would be 3 years of episodes. You without repeating, you could watch it for 3 years straight and still see new episodes if you watched it a new one every day.
Wow.
And it would still only equal 3 years in the life of the Simpsons, who have been alive, you know, pop culturally for coming up on 36 seasons, but 38 years, I'd say, since the Tracy Ullman show.
Mm.
But also had years of existence prior to that, if, you know, since we meet Marge and Homer as parents and stuff, and Bart and Maggie already aged up. We really fell down the well here. But point is, fucking Simpsons panel was great. Matt Groening, man, for everyone that got to ask a question, like we did Q&A at the end, he brought these two gigantic fucking drawing pads, like big ones. And he did tons of face shots of all the Simpsons characters in one pad and Futurama characters in the other. And because he was on the Futurama panel and on the Simpsons panel, anytime someone asked a question, he tore one off, hand drawn by him and signed by him, and gave him some piece of like expensive ass Simpsons merchandise. Like he gave away a fucking Snowball the cat and fucking Mr. Teeny, you know, big Simpsons, you know, slippers, like fucking expensive shit. And I was like, holy shit. And then I remembered this Disney money. But you know, the whole time he tore off a Millhouse and handed it to somebody, hand drawn, fucking crusty, hand drawn. I was like, so after the show, when we were off stage, he was like, that was great, man. Anything you need from me, let me know. And I was like, can I have one of those drawings in your pad? And he goes, are you serious? I was like, oh my God, yes. So I picked a Maggie Simpson, man. And I'm having it framed right now. It is fucking gorgeous. It's minimalist, you know, at its best. You could see a pencil sketch underneath, and they just went over it in fucking Sharpie. But I'm telling you, that is like my most prized possession at the moment. Like, and now I'm obsessed with getting him to do the main characters from Life and Hell. Because that was how I first started fucking with Matt Groening. Mongo, Sheba, and Binky, like doing face shots like that. So now I got something to live for, Mark. And that's important. Always have something, always twirling towards something to live for. So that panel was good times. Then I did some press during the day, and then I did a signing at the Inside Editions booth of my Secret Stash hardcover book. And that brought me to the floor for the first time in like a minute. So I got to see Comic-Con, the actual, what I consider Comic-Con, for a few seconds as we went through it. And then I went to the Marvel panel, and then I had my panel afterwards. So let's talk. Well, let me do my panel afterwards. At my panel, I showed the 4:30 movie trailer, which you can watch right here on my YouTube channel. I would put it into the show. We'd show it, but then we'll get thrown off fucking the internet. Like it always happens whenever you show a clip or a trailer, they strike our fucking content. And we're even one my trailer, they fucking strike. So it's a click away, kids. You can watch the trailer right now on my YouTube channel. It's an adorable movie set in 1986. The big news though that came out of that though was here's the trailer, and we said like, hey man, we're doing the world premiere August 24th at Smodcastle Cinemas, and you can buy tickets and go. So if you haven't seen the trailer yet, or you want to buy tickets, you go to the 430movie.movie. And you get tickets right now. You can watch a trailer and stuff like that. And then while I was there, I did a lot of Q&A, but I also announced that the next Jay and Silent Bob movie is called Jay and Silent Bob Store Wars. And it's about Jay and Silent Bob running a dispensary and then competing with a brand new dispensary that opens like across the street. So I think those were my big announcements. And then I did lots of Q&A, and it was absolutely lovely to be there. Some folks have asked in chat, are you going to post the video? I don't have the video of the Q&A, but sometimes it generally goes up. So maybe it'll be there. I don't know. Okay. Let me take you back to the Hall H panel. So when I was done with the Inside Editions thing, I fucking tore ass to get to Hall H because it already started. I had a bunch of people in line, so I couldn't leave them hanging. So I stayed, signed for everybody, and then went to the panel. So I missed the Captain America presentation. But fucking Harrison Ford was on stage for it, for heaven's sakes, and he pretended to Hulk out. I saw a clip of that online, and they showed footage. I didn't get to see the footage for that, but I heard from Eddie Ibrahim backstage that it was like Red Hulk centric. You got to see full fucking blast of the Red Hulk. So as I was coming to the back door of Hall H, I saw Anthony Mackie and this is crazy though, dude. I saw them, like that panel, but I also saw the Fantastic Four. So I thought I missed it, but I didn't miss it. It was about to come. But Pedro Pascal walks right past me and like looked at me like he knew me and went like, "Hey." And I was like, "How the fuck? Really?" That made me feel like fucking famous. I was like, "Fuck." So then I went backstage and I went and sat in the back and I got to watch the rest of the presentation. So I got to see the FF go up. Our boy Matt,
Jackman.
Yeah, who was fucking, he's directing the motherfucker. He's the guy that did WandaVision we had on the show. Such a nice dude, so talented. The footage, I'm sure some folks saw on YouTube that it leaked out. You could watch the little sizzle reel they put together, which was like, it looked like it was kind of a newsreel. It was done like a newsreel, but it looked like it could be something that would be in the movie itself. But it gave you a tone and a flavor of things, and that movie looks fucking fantastic. It's got that Jetsons quasi-futuristic look and stuff. And they flew the Fantastic Car over the audience. I guess
great.
A couple of drones or something, that was kind of sweet. And then I think after them it was Thunderbolts, where Thunderbolts went first and they went. Thunderbolts presentation, they showed like, a clip reel of like maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes of story and action. Looked cool. But as I'm backstage watching this and seeing all the famous people and shit like that, I see the Russo brothers out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, oh shit. All right, so the rumors are true. Like, we heard last week in the news is like Russo brothers might be coming back. So I was gonna go say hi and shit, but like I knew they were in pregame, so I wasn't gonna be like, "Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith," because they came to the Spodcastle 9 months ago. So I was like, all right, they're gonna bring them up for sure, and maybe they announce the title change of the Avengers movie, and they brought up the Russo brothers after a Russo brothers trailer with a title treatment of like the Russos are back, and they went out there, audience went fucking nuts. They announced the two movies, as we now know, Avengers Secret Wars, but prior to that there's going to be a movie called Avengers Doomsday that sets up the big bad of Secret Wars, who is of course Dr. Doom. So they did this. I was backstage and I saw all like 20, 30 fucking people wearing Doom cloaks and masks. No hint of what was to come, just that. I thought they were just going to use them all to be like, and the bad guy's going to be Dr. Doom. And
we didn't notice the one dude in the exquisitely tailored couture.
Did not, man. I think they brought him in the side door at the very last second as they were all mounting the stage, or when they brought the lights down to put the title up or something like that. Because to me, it was an absolute fucking surprise. So they, when I think it was Joe starts talking about like, we need an excellent, the world's greatest actor to play Victor Von Doom. Like I was completely flummoxed at that moment before the reveal, going like, oh my God, they're going to fucking reveal Dr. Doom right here on stage. Like they're going to win Comic-Con. Like who the fuck is it? Who can it be? And I thought, I don't know, in the millisecond I had to process, I was like, Cillian Murphy? Like, Who's it? Who?
Washington?
Um, then when fucking like RDJ pulls off the mask and does the Tony Stark fucking Jericho pose, I screamed and I was like, oh shit. Like I was like the whole fucking Hall H lit up, the roof went off. It was honestly like one of the most dazzling moments in Comic-Con history. Like there was this rush of like, holy fucking shit. Like I can't believe they're A, they did this, and B, they're telling us this early. You know, and then when you get further from the fucking Hall H, you're like, of course, that's what else would they have done this Comic-Con? Like, you know, they had a little bit of damage control to do over the course of the last couple of years. Deadpool, Wolverine certainly put them on a solid footing of like, hey, look at this record-breaking opening of a Marvel movie. So, you know, part one of the plan, successful. But apparently part two is just being like, look, we're going to allay all your fears and show you what the future looks like. And the future looks like the past. I am a massive Robert Downey Jr. fan, as are most people. And I'm not saying, and that makes me right. Because I bet you there are people who love Robert Downey Jr. that aren't in love with this idea about him coming back. I fucking dig it because Victor Von Doom could be played as a, you know, dark mirror version of Tony Stark with none of the quips. And, you know, not for nothing, but like Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor and he knows how to fucking play a part without being funny. So we're not going to get Tony Stark back. It's not going to be him, you know, being quippy Dr. Doom. I think we're going to see a performance by the guy that just won a fucking Oscar for Oppenheimer and whatnot. But as I was sitting there, I was like, what the fuck did this cost? And then, I mean, I was like, what is this? I mean, bringing the Russos back and bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, which apparently, according to a Variety report today, they were tied together. Like Robert Downey Jr. was like, I'm not coming back unless it's the Russo brothers. So, you know, it was make or break for him with those guys. But they're saying that like those cats are going to earn. Did you have an article or no?
Yes, Variety. The Russos are going to earn something like $80 million
For the two movies.
for the two movies. They didn't put a figure on RDJ's return because if I had to guess, a lot of it is tied into the back end of those movies. But they did say that he has made somewhere between 400 and 500 million dollars playing Tony Stark thus far.
I mean, maybe the whole thing is we can get you to $1 billion. And why wouldn't they? Easily, they're paying him $50 million a film, if not more. That'd be $100 million to be in 2 Avengers movies and stuff. Hands down, he's going to be the highest paid actor who ever lived. But of course, like, why wouldn't you pay? If you're Marvel, I know some people online are like, why would they do this? They could have gone a different way. This is only stepping backwards and stuff. But, you know, admittedly, Marvel was against the ropes and like, this is a power fucking move where suddenly it's like, yeah, man, we started the Marvel universe with Tony Stark. We're going to end with Robert Downey Jr. and we're going to end the Marvel universe with Robert Downey Jr. because that's what's going to happen by the end of Secret Wars, man. Everything we know is going to come down to one timeline, one sacred timeline, and all that shit. And they're going to reset forever and then start again, probably. So I was so ecstatic about it. And it just business wise, of course, it makes sense. They're going to make so much fucking money, like easily $2 billion per movie, if not fucking more. So to break him off 50 or 100 million, I mean,
it's easy money.
But I'm there for it. I know, I'm sure a bunch of people online are like, of course you're there for it. You fucking Marvel shill, you suck Marvel cock. I don't know. That's not true. I'm not a Marvel shill. They don't fucking pay me. I wish they did. And but I do occasionally suck Marvel cock because the things they do make me very happy. And I like to give that happiness back. And this was one of those things. I was so delighted, like when he took that mask off. It made me feel like young again. It made me feel like, yeah, man, like fucking just when like over the course of the last year, I was like, I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm too old for this stuff at this point. Maybe as a 53-year-old man, I should be watching, you know, fucking like Jag or whatever the fuck.
Diagnosis murder.
Yeah, exactly. But this, dialed my clock back where I'm like, oh shit. Like it's got my imagination firing. Ever since they fucking announced it, I'm like, what are they gonna do? What's it gonna be like? What's it gonna like? Are they ever gonna show his face? Could this be a baller fucking move of him going like, they're gonna pay me $50 million. I'm gonna fucking Pedro Pascal shit, and fucking John Wayne's kid, fucking grandson's gonna play Dr. Doom, and then I'm gonna come in later on and fucking Woody and Buzz that shit afterwards. At the very least, it makes their job easier. The character wears a mask most of the time, and really all of the time. Very rarely does that mask come off. So it's interesting to like pay that guy a bunch of money and then hide him behind a mask.
Well, I mean, there is absolutely the theory, one which I ascribe to, which we've talked about a bunch of times, which is I don't believe for a second that we've seen the last of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, as Iron Man. And so if you're doing Secret Wars, which is all about multiverses and all about stacking of universes, there's another universe where Tony Stark, Iron Man, hadn't died. And so if you're going to build me a story where Robert Downey Jr. fights Robert Downey Jr. at the very end of it, of course that's what's going to happen.
Went through my mind too. I was like, holy shit, bro. It's fucking Tony Stark is the savior again. And I know some people out there would be like, that's creatively bankrupt. I disagree. I think that book ends it nicely. I think that's awesome. If Tony Stark himself were to save the fucking universe again while fighting a Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom, so it is RDJ on RDJ. Like look, the rest of the cast can be RDJ as well. Hawkeye can be RDJ. Black Widow, Hulk, Captain America, they could all be RDJ.
It would be a hell of a thing if
Eddie Murphy this shit, clump it. That's what I say.
If in the Marvel universe, in the same way that Uncle Ben's, if Spider-Man's uncle is always like the one who dies, then Tony Stark is always the one who dies to save the universe. And so in every one of these various multiverses, like it's a Tony Stark sacrifice story. And so like, yeah, I 100% believe that. And then you just set up a different actor who plays Tony Stark going forward after this, because otherwise, what the fuck are we doing in a multiverse? Why do this? Like, if you just want to relaunch from the jump again, find me the youngest version of an actor you want to play Tony Stark. Find me another Cap. Find me another Black Widow. Find me. Just, you're rebooting it anyway. They're never going to stop making these movies, but they at some point have to stop paying Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know. They just started again. They're like, you know what? One more time. It seems like he'll have to do less work this time around. Like I believe he was in 11 of the 22 MCU movies.
Just 2 more.
Now it's just 2. You probably pay him the same amount of money that they gave him for the 11. And they're smart to do it. Like, I know some people I've seen articles and I've seen YouTube videos of people who are like, this is cowardice or whatever. And I'm like, I'm benefiting from their fear then. Their fear is delicious because I'm getting Robert Downey Jr. back.
Indeed.
Get a Marvel fucking thing. I mean, it's just, I know the window for nostalgia is getting smaller and smaller, where people are like, I'm nostalgic about something that happened, 5 years ago at this point, 4 years ago. But I don't know. I can't, nothing about this bums me out. I think it's interesting. Like, I think it'll be interesting to watch him play it differently. It's a guy who does accents in movies. Now he's got to figure out a Latvian accent.
The other bit that got me very, very excited is that Stephen McFeely is coming back to write Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Marcus is joining him. They only announced McFeely as coming back to do it, but either of those dudes, both of those dudes, whatever configuration of those 2 guys, they are the sort of unheralded secret weapon of that Russo brothers run. Like that level of plot and character awareness and being able to pay off the distant throes of those movies and understanding what we want out of them and ways to give us, again, not what we want but what we need. um the fact that McFeely is back to help the Russos guide these last two chapters is incredibly encouraging.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for it. In chat, some people, of course, are like, I don't know. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this makes me happy. Can't I can't put your mask on, kids. I could only put mine. And as I put my mask on, what I'm breathing is the pure oxygen of RDJ in my lungs, giving me life. Makes me excited for movies. Like, I'm like, yay. Like fun movies, and that's the older I get, that's what I want, is a movie that's fun and makes me feel young. Like otherwise, what the fuck, you know, I love art, don't get me wrong, but like I want to sometimes I just want to escape. Just want to skate, Mark. Just want to laugh. Just want to thrill. Just want to be like, yeah, man. Imagine if it was that simple.
You just
Good
gotta wait
guys
till
versus
May
bad guys.
26th.
What is it?
You just gotta wait till May 26th for
Yeah,
Doomsday.
when they were leaving the stage, they were like, "We'll see you in 2 years." For Doomsday, 2 years, dude. 1 year from now, July 25th, less than a year now. Fantastic Four, first steps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's nuts. They just started shooting that shit.
Yeah, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Day one.
And in less than a year, we're gonna be seeing the results.
Yeah, it's bananas. A movie that big, we're gonna shoot, post, do the VFX, and release.
And then 1 year after that, fucking Doomsday.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Pressure's on to stay alive, kids.
just get your colonoscopies, you guys.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna stay healthy because I want to see this shit.
Hell yeah.
I want to watch the money.
Ooh, look at it.
So yeah, that was a Hall H for the books, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm sad that my lot in life no longer brings me into Hall H for these things. Um,
I know a guy.
I know you know a guy. I know you know a guy. But
Did DC do anything? I know James sent a video going, "Hey, this is the DC logo, and it's cool because it looks like the '80s DC logo.
it's the old bullet.
It's the old bullet, yeah." But they
Um,
didn't do any presentation. They didn't show anything. I
they
didn't.
showed the trailer for Creature Commandos. Um,
Oh, okay. I saw that online.
yeah, which looks good.
It's good.
But like I was surprised at first that they didn't have something of Superman to show.
Which they
Uh,
just James Gunn just put up an announcement that they wrapped yesterday or today or
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, but
I
like
can't believe
Deadpool,
that's done.
I know, right?
Like, if how long did they shoot? Didn't feel like it was. I felt like just yesterday we were seeing those Guy Gardner pictures, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
they
sure
were,
how long Principal was, but it feels like maybe it was a month and a half. It didn't feel like it was some James Bond style thing where they were shooting for half a year.
and it's not like, hey, we're done in the real world. Now we're going back to the studios or something. They're just done.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what their post schedule is like? Who knows how much they're relying on that sort of thing? But it seemed as if their principal photography phase is over. Um, you know,
In chat they're pointing out that DC dropped some trailers. The Penguin trailer dropped for the TV show.
mhm,
They announced Absolute Universe. The Superman and Lois panel had the Doomsday fight trailer, I believe,
right.
or the trailer for their new season. So
They
the
revealed
DC had a presence.
they revealed Mini Driver as the Penguin in Batman Cape Crusader.
Yeah, nobody should bump into that. They fucking even remember they made the female Doc Ock in Spider-Man. That was dope.
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty good, pretty cool flip. I mean, it felt like Oswalda was a first draft. Felt like you could have, I have no good replacement, but I was, when I saw Oswalda, I was like, That felt like body, we'll get to it later, body. And then by the time they got there, they're like, fuck it, it's body.
Yeah, just Ozzy would have done it.
But Mini Driver, that's cool. That show debuts, is it tomorrow or the day after?
Thursday, I think. I think Thursday's the first, right? I don't know how many days are in July.
Yeah,
Uh,
July has 31 days. So yeah, Thursday. And it's got Anna Metapie in it. And you wrote one, didn't you?
I know. I wrote the Gentleman Ghost episode.
That's yours. They've
Yeah,
shown clips of that. They did like a character highlight and they
yeah,
showed
with Toby Stevens as the Gentleman Ghost.
fucking hey man. Look at that.
Oh
Mark
yeah,
fucking doing the thing. We're all just watching. Mark's doing.
we're trying to do it. Just out there
Um,
trying to fuck.
the the folks in chat are saying the new Kite Man cartoon is great. Have you watched that?
I
Spin-off.
haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, I ran into Patrick Schumacher, who's the showrunner of Harley Quinn and Kite Man and Abbott Elementary, a couple times at the show, and he seemed super fucking excited. And he's the sweetest guy. He really is. We should have him on the show.
He runs Abbott Elementary.
Yeah, he and Justin Halpern do all of the three. Quint is the co-showrunner, but Justin and Patrick are also in there
Check you out. You learn something new every day.
every day.
Yeah, let's have him on. Fuck. What about you? What did you think of all the Marvel hype?
I mean, Marvel stays winning at San Diego Comic-Con, just when you think that there's a year where they don't have that much to dazzle with. They pull out some stops. I continue to tickle at their insistence that Blade is a movie that's going to happen. Like here's what Phase 7 looks like. And it's like, all right, Fantastic Four, Doomsday, Secret Wars, and Blade is still on there, which, okay, sure, whatever. Especially on the heels of Wesley Snipes, spoiler alert, in Deadpool and Wolverine saying, I'm the only Blade there is.
Yeah. And the
So
look
far,
to camera was fantastic.
so far. Um, but yeah, man, it's always I'm curious about Thunderbolts. I'm curious about, Cap 4, Brave New World, especially because it seems to be a Isaiah Bradley story in one way or another. Um, I remain cautiously optimistic about everything. But I'm optimistic about Doomsday and Secret Wars. Um, and I'm hoping against hope that there's a way that they can actually end this version of the story. Because I think that it has suffered for having to continue. Like, find a way to say the end and then start telling a different story.
Which one?
Every, I mean, Endgame felt like it was the end,
Yeah.
and they kind of refused to let that be the end. And so, like, this timeline, whatever this sacred timeline is, still needs to have an ending. And if that ending is Secret Wars and it allows you to kind of end this chapter, close the book, start a whole new thing, like, at some point they have to take that opportunity, because continuing to draw this taffy out isn't helping anybody.
I'm the other guy, Mark. I call myself Mr. Sticks because I'm like, don't let it end. I'm begging you, don't let it end this way. I mean, I've been reading comic books too long to be like, fucking let the soap opera keep going, man.
Oh, I'm not saying they should stop telling Marvel stories. I'm just like, there needs to be a way to put a bow on this particular thing and then find new stories to tell.
Undead Spaghetti in chat said, I'm a couple minutes behind, but here's his pitch. Osmeralda Cobblepot. Would have made, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Or just Roz Cobblepot.
what was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? It was it Olivia Octavius? Yeah, she's like, my
It
friends call
lives.
me Liv. I don't have friends. My friends call me Liv. No, she goes, my friends call me Liv, but my enemies call me Doc Ock. I think.
All right, should we do ad number 2 and then get
Better. We better, man. That's right, kids. We've got two, count them, two sponsors this evening, man. Welcome. Our second sponsor, the good folks at Lumen.
Lumen.
Lumen. You know what the Lumen is, don't you? It's a metabolic health device. You bet you how to explain how it works, man. All you got to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your entire metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for the day based on your measurements. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your health game. Can you imagine, man? It's like technology, for heaven's sakes, man. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into the fuel that keeps you going, because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does. Optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc., man. Lumen gives you recommendations to improve your metabolic health based on the context of your breath measurement, whether that's first thing in the morning or before and after meals and workouts. Couldn't be easier to use, kids. Just breathe into it. The key to metabolic health is something called metabolic flexibility, and that's where Lumen really shines. Take it.
Metabolic flexibility means that your body's ability to efficiently switch between using different fuel sources like carbs and fats. Their preferred times to use each and how well you can switch places on you is based on your metabolic flexibility spectrum. The more flexible, the better your health and well-being. The less likely you are to end up with chronic issues like type 2 diabetes or cardiovascular disease. And after getting to know you through your breath, Lumen gives you a metabolic flex score that you can track and improve. Lumen has logged 55 million metabolic measurements and are the leading experts in metabolic health. And their recommendations are science-backed and personalized to your measurements, so you know you're doing what's best for your body.
Bamf man, Bamf in here, if you got a sec, man. Didn't you lumen it up? Didn't you luminate your insides? Bamf. Man. There he is, everybody. Welcome to the show, Bamf Man. Yeah, look at that reveal. Just like Hall H.
Was it as exciting as Hall H? Was it as good?
My reaction was about a quarter of what it was.
I figure if Robert Downey Jr. can get paid to play two characters, I could be this show's Dr. Doom and Bamf Man.
Oh my God. Ingenious. Watch you fight yourself.
I did do some lumining. It's a very, very cool little device. Will Wilkins and I have been talking about it quite a bit. He has lost 25 pounds since starting the Lumen, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago.
Fucking A, man.
So I like data. Like I have a mattress pad that tells me how poorly I sleep every night. And so I like the data. I like to know what I'm eating is good for me or bad for me, and then Lumen can tell me, hey, maybe next time you want to try some carrots instead of those gummy bears.
This smart fucking tech, man. How ingenious is that shit, man? So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me. That's lumen.me. And use the promo code FATMAN, all one word, FATMAN, at checkout. And you're going to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me, lumen.me. And use the promo code FATMAN for 15% off. We thank the good folks at Lumen, man. Technology to make your life last longer. Life lasts longer. Lumen! Tell them Fat Man sent you. We thank the good folks at Lumen for sponsoring this here episode of Fat Man Beyond.
Breathe your way to better health.
Yeah. Is that their slogan?
Nope. It is now.
Fuck, well done. Don't get this shit out for free. You can hold that over Lumen's head. We can get some of that fucking sweet-ass Lumen money.
Tens of dollars.
All adds up. We've been doing this show for so long, kids, that I think I'm going to have to use some Mando wipes, deodorant.
Ooh, there it
Take
is.
off the odor
Odor.
that I give off while doing Fat Man Beyond because I'm so excited about things. That RDJ thing has me fucking very excited. I'm not going to let. I was telling my wife the other day, like yesterday, I was reading the news. I was like, oh my God, some people don't like Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom. She's like, don't read it. I was like, I know, but I just like I gotta know why somebody wouldn't like that. She's like, don't give a shit. Just like what you like. Does it make you happy? I was like, I'm very happy. She's like, great. Don't let him take your happiness away.
Does RDJ, does he come back and he has like, remember for a while back in the day, like, I think it was like Charlize put on like ugly makeup and won an Oscar for Monster, and Nicole Kidman did it with a bad nose for another movie. Is this Robert Downey Jr. looking at the ship, the MCU ship he built sinking, and he's like, you know what? Joaquin Phoenix did it for the Joker. I'm going to make an ugly face, and I'm going to show up, and I'm not only going to plug the holes in this boat, but I'm going to I'm going to take home some hardware for this. Do you think that's his thing? Do you think that's what? Because he's $500 million Tony Stark rich. That's not Oppenheimer money or anything else on top of it. Is he coming back to show that he can, like, Steve Jobs the MCU out of its tailspin and show the world that he is capable of playing two completely unique characters in the same universe? I mean, is that the motivation?
What you've whet my appetite for is, number one, let's be honest, it's probably the money that calls one back and the opportunity for an acting challenge of like, oh my God, I get to play a completely different guy in the world that I helped create, blah, blah, blah. But you've struck on something that I didn't think of. Maybe like if you're the guy that's won your best supporting actor Oscar, you've been recognized by your peers in the Academy and stuff like that. The challenge, once Alexander got to the end of the known world and it was all conquered, he fucking wept or whatever that line is. Maybe this dude is fucking setting himself up where he's just like, you know what? I'm going to try to win an award playing a comic book character. Like, why not? Like, I got an Oscar. I'm safe. Like, now let me try to win one for playing fucking Victor Von Doom. Because honestly, like, and I know there's going to be articles, if I say this, people will be like, he's a fucking idiot. But he should have been nominated a couple times for his performance as Tony Stark. Man. Like, I think he's wonderful. He's not just entertaining to watch, but there's a real performance going on there. I mean, he fused that character with a lot of heart, soul, fucking his own personal traumas and toils that he's gone through. Like, him and that character were interchangeable, even though they're two completely different individuals. Maybe he'll find a way to fucking do that with Doom. And I'm here for that, man. If he's like, I'm gonna try to win 10 by playing, the man in the iron mask. It's imagine like what that would do for comic book movies. Well, I mean, it's not unheard of. Like, Heath Ledger posthumously won an Oscar for fucking playing the Joker, and then Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar for playing the Joker as well. So you're right, man. It could be that he's like, all right, here's a new challenge. I'm going to try to get the big fucking award by being Dr. Doom, which would be, could you imagine if he won an Oscar playing a guy who wears a mask most of the movie?
I'm a dude playing another dude who's also another dude.
Nuts.
If only he played Kirk Lazarus, also playing Dr. Doom.
Also,
let me tell you something, man. It's worth the money they paid him already. Because look at the conversations that we're having. Childish, ooh, what if it's this? Dreamy conversations that we were not having 6 months ago, 3 months ago when we talked about comic book movies, it was all like, another one bit the dust. Man, I can't wait for Deadpool. You know, it's I feeling good from my head to my shoes.
Also, if you have Robert Downey Jr. at $50 million a movie, how is he not the main character? Like, do we get a bad guy main character in Marvel now? As opposed to, like, hey, here's a bunch of Avengers people are lukewarm on, and then here's Robert Downey Jr., he's going to get 6 minutes of time. Or do you, I mean, is your movie from the perspective of, like, are you looking through the mask out into the world the way you do with Iron Man, only it's the bad guy?
Yeah.
Which could be cool.
Give him all that screen time. I mean, well, the movie's called Doomsday. It better be fucking crazy Doom-centric.
Yeah. I mean, they already talked about the fact that Fantastic Four are going to be in Doomsday.
Yeah, which means that we'll probably get our first look at Robert Downey Jr. Doom at the end of Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in there. They showed footage of a Galactus looking in windows and stuff. And I saw some people online going, that's not big enough. I'm like, well, maybe he shrank down to look in the window. But the fact that it looked like Galactus wearing his outfit as opposed to a fucking cloud, like, kids, I'm old enough to remember when Galactus was a cloud. So they put him in a screen accurate or comics accurate outfit. It's okay if he's not as big as he will be when he eats the world, when he devours the world.
When I was watching Deadpool Wolverine and Professor X's sister or whatever was talking about whatever, because I never watched Loki season 1 or 2, and then I saw the cloud coming and I was like, holy shit, they brought back Galactus. And then people are like, that's not Galactus. I was like, oh, well, big cloud, whatever.
That's
what else could it be? How many other cloud-based villains do they have?
I put up a review for what it was worth of Deadpool and Wolverine, but have either of you finally seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
We both have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well,
on Monday, I think.
You bought? So tell me your thoughts.
I was telling JC before we started to roll that it's curious that somehow they made a movie that is quite entertaining, that is also kind of barely a movie. It definitely isn't really a movie until Wolverine shows up. Because as the movie presents, the emotional investment is that Deadpool wants to save his universe. Not even so much his universe, but the 9 people in a Polaroid picture that he has. 9 people that I don't really have any emotional investment in, other than Marina Baccarin as his, now ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, well, if he doesn't seem to care that much about them, to the point that when they throw him a surprise party, he doesn't really want to be there. Why do I care that much about them? And I don't really care until Wolverine shows up, until it becomes a sort of rehabilitation story for this version of Wolverine. And then I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, let's tell this story. Let's tell a story about a guy who doesn't care becoming someone who does care, finding purpose again. Like, yeah, okay, give me that. And then it's kind of on rails, and then it's kind of fun. I mean, yes, there are a billion jokes, and when there are that many jokes, not all of them will hit, but most of them do. I literally stood up in my chair and cheered when fucking Wesley Snipes shows up, when Channing Tatum shows up.
It was an absolute shock when Wesley Snipes showed up, because the conventional wisdom has always been like, well, they didn't get along on that Blade movie, so there's no way he's coming back. And fucking, not only did he come back, they did press together. Like I saw him do an interview. He was on.
Like,
he was
they
on
mentioned
stage.
it in the movie that they didn't get along.
Yeah, I mean, that was surprising. The Elektra thing, like, it got spoiled online, so it was more surprising that Daredevil also wasn't there, but they got off a good line about that with her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm really sorry, but like, we talk about Daredevil got killed. Deadpool's like, I'm really sorry, and she goes, it's fine. Um,
But yeah,
Channing Tatum though showing up as Gambit was really sweet.
that's kind of lovely,
Yeah,
you know. Um, and yeah, Hugh Jackman is the emotional center of this movie, and he's given a legit fucking great performance in the middle of it because he's a legit great actor who I don't think has ever really been given his flowers for being as good as he is, as often as he is. Um, but uh, but yeah, like I was I started falling asleep in the beginning of the movie because I don't care about the TVA anymore. I don't care about sacred timelines. I don't care about pruning timelines. I don't care about variants. Like all of that stuff has been left in my mental rear view. And so to spend a good 20 minutes dropping exposition about how and why and what and whatever, get me to the story. And it felt like it took a little bit too long to get to the story. Granted, it was Monday that I saw it. Coming back from Comic Con, I was sleepy. Um, but you know, once it begins to engage with the movie that it is, once it begins, like once Chris Evans shows up, um, it's because it does the thing that it takes you down the road you want to go down, which is he's fucking Captain America. Of course he is. Give me the thing. And then when he's not, spoiler alert, um, it was just fucking wonderful. And I was
yeah.
like, oh, that's the movie we're in. Okay, I get it. Here for it. Um, I mean, there are moments in that movie that are super, super fun. There are moments that are just laugh out loud funny. Um, but the plot of the movie just kind of it just ping pongs you through like, all right, I guess we're in the void. Sure. Okay, what's in the void? Various variants. Okay, sure. Are these variants real or are they fictional? Because it seems that the story for Gambit and Blade and Elektra is we just want our stories to have endings. Like, but that's not what humans want. That's what stories want. So like that's weird. And then Deadpool Prime fighting 100 Deadpool variants, which is like, yeah, okay, sure, I guess. Why? All right, I guess.
Why? Because our boy Jeremy Simpson, who did issue one of Quick Stops, and I used to work with on the CW shows, storyboard artist. He became, he was a storyboard artist for Marvel now. So
Mhm.
he's been working on this movie for like years, and he couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
But afterwards, after I saw the flick, he was like, I did the bus sequence. He's like, the bus sequence I designed from the ground up. I was like, the entire fucking fight, like through the bus with all the Deadpools and shit like that. I was like, did you add the Stan Lee Steamers ad on the side of the bus so that Stan could have his cameo? He goes, no, that's Marvel. They're way all over that. But that was just fun, like watching Headpool, fucking the good looking, what was it, Nice Pool,
Nice pull.
to me had the funniest joke in the fucking movie, and the movie is full of funny stuff. Even the shit that don't land is still like fucking funny, man. Like it's the most comic book affectionate comic book movie ever made.
Yeah.
If I had uh, talent and this much money, it would be the kind of comic book movie that I would love to make, right? Like fucking it wears its love for the genre on its sleeve while tweaking the genre's nipples really fucking hard in the way that only somebody who truly loves the thing could ever get away with. But that joke where Nice Pool looks at he's like, I can gently touch the fourth wall too. And he turns the camera and goes, the proposal. It was just so fucking awesome.
Yeah, like it was interesting to be like recognizing that as drama, it's whisper thin, but also still having a good time with it. And that's a trick. Like that is a fucking feat. Um, and so yeah, I wasn't mad at the movie when I left it at all. I was like, all right, fuck it. That wasn't 2 hours that I feel wasted. But I also recognized while I'm watching it, it's like, okay, this is just I'm not emotionally invested per se. Um, I don't feel like I'm going to feel different or changed or have learned a thing. Um, and by the end of it, like, yeah, sacrifice, great. Are they really sacrificing? No. But it's a cool moment. It's very, very Guardians. Like we're just gonna hold hands and save the world with our the power of friendship. Cool.
What they didn't get together at the end, huh? Him and Vanessa.
Yeah, they did.
As
They
a
did.
couple or just friends?
Well, I mean, she takes his hand, which I think we're supposed to believe is the rekindling of that love because he's found his purpose again. Um, but if the movie had been they're not breaking up, they're not broken up, but they're together and she's pregnant. And so what he wants to do is save his family. It is not about the world, it is about this family that he finally found a way to have. I'm on board for all of it. Like everything that he does, like tricking Wolverine, all of that stuff, totally I buy. But
Which
just
that's what they did in Endgame. That was Tony's whole thing in Endgame, right? He's like, I'll come back and I'll fuck with time, but my daughter is what this. I can't lose this. What I have here with Pepper and my daughter. So you could have just moved that over to Endgame or to Deadpool, right?
yeah,
I love my baby 3000. There's a fourth wall break there. Welcome to the MCU.
which you could just say, I'm stealing this wholesale from
Yeah,
Endgame because it works. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm as always, I prod because I love. Um, I'm critical because I think it's helpful to examine the thing and try to figure out, why it works, why it doesn't. For me, it mostly worked because I had a good time. Um, but I can have a good time eating Twinkies. That doesn't mean I think it's good food.
Yeah, but Twinkies don't put the fucking cowl on for the first time ever. How magical is that? How awesome is it? He reaches back and pulls that shit up, and the white eyes are there and everything.
Was back there the whole time?
Yes. Oh my god, I was in a theater. I said in my review, I saw it at that what used to be the Lemley Sunset Fives, now Landmark
Hmm.
Cinema. And as I was waiting to go in, an elderly gentleman came up to me, Mark, and he goes, "Kevin, Randall Kleiser." Randall Kleiser, of course, being the director of Grease,
Amazing.
right? Like fucking royalty. This guy directed our childhood. He also directed The Blue Lagoon.
Mm.
He directed a bunch. He's been around for a while. So I was like, "Oh man, how are you?" And as he walked away, I said to my wife, "I was like, legend." So we wound up. We were in the same aisle,
Mm.
interestingly enough, watching the movie. And in the movie, of course, at one point during their fight scene, they play "You're the One That I Want," and I
Mm.
fucking lean forward, look at him, and be like, "Oh!" Like he must have fucking known it was coming and shit. Um, but he sounded like he was having a great time watching the movie. He was laughing as much as I was fucking laughing. The movie
I
just
wonder.
had a smile on my face the whole fucking time. It's just good times. I had a smile on my face as a fan of the genre, as just like I was happy for Ryan Reynolds. Seemed like some dream of his was coming true and whatnot. Bringing fucking it was a dream. It's been a dream for years to see like an R-rated Wolverine, and we saw that in Logan, yes. But like this, it's fucking nuts. Some of the shit they did was just the shit you dream about Wolverine doing.
Yeah.
Um, and they let him do it, let him off the fucking chain. Hugh Jackman was absolute fucking magic. I mean, I don't know who's more charming, him or fucking Ryan Reynolds. Um, but it was, as a fan, I loved it. As an exhibitor, a person who owns a movie theater, oh, thank
Dude,
God,
$211 million for this opening weekend.
yes. Now, they didn't make much of that at our theater, Smog House Cinemas, but it definitely put asses in seats, man. It's the kind of movie that the movie business absolutely fucking needed.
Yeah.
So it's tough. How do you judge a movie that's like saving the movie industry at the moment? And also its goals aren't lofty in terms of like, hey man, we want to fucking recreate cinema. They're just like, we want you to fucking laugh. We're gonna make you laugh.
I mean, it is, and I was talking again, I don't want to continue to refer to a time that our audience hasn't seen, but JC and I were talking about how the difference between Deadpool and Wolverine and say Furiosa, which is two giant movies extensions of franchises that people know and love, with incredibly engaging stars who are hitting the pavement hard to do press for their movie. And the difference is one of them made $211 million its opening weekend and the other one didn't. And so what is the difference? Um, and I think that some of it is it promises a good time, where I'm not sure Furiosa did, but also they have been sort of the pre-awareness of this movie has been building for like a year. We knew it was coming. We knew they were doing it. The two of them, as most gregarious people in the world, have been talking about it. You see the announcement trailer, which was like 18 months ago. Like there could not have been more awareness for this movie. And I think Marvel, in the same reason why, you're going to pay through the nose to get the Russos and to get RDJ back, they needed a win. And I think the audience wanted there to be a win, because the Marvels, for as much as I liked it, did not perform well. I think Marvel kind of needed a shot in the arm. And I think the Marvel audience also wanted that same shot in the arm at the same time. And so the perfect storm of summer, we're fucking here. This movie's out. It's doing all the things that a fan would want it to do. 100%. Like that's how you out peg the opening weekend, and become the sixth highest opening of all time.
Is that what it is? The sixth highest opening of all time?
Yeah, behind Star Wars: The Last Jedi at $220 million, Force Awakens at $247, Infinity War at $257, No Way Home at $260, and Endgame at $357. Like elite company.
Go
ahead.
Did you guys catch when they first land in the void? There is a Secret Wars magazine, like way off to the left of screen, which I thought was kind of fun.
They pointed that out in one of the trailers, I think, early on in the day. People were like, "Look." Somebody pointed out in chat, I don't know if this is true, but when they were in Happy's office, there's a picture that had Tony and Peter Parker in it, but Peter Parker was cropped out as if nobody remembered him. Because when last we left Peter, he was forgotten, right? He wanted to be forgotten. If there that kind of attention to detail is there, I will be watching this again on August 2nd on Friday night. We sold out that show, Deadpool and Wolverine podcast, so the night before Vulgarthon begins. I'll be looking for that detail time around, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go see it again on Thursday. For all of my comments about it, I had a good enough time, and like I know that there was some shit that I missed. I'll go again,
right?
Because I'm still that guy.
All right.
All right.
What about you, Banff man? What'd you think?
Similar to Mark, I felt like Deadpool broke the fifth wall, whatever that means, where like he started referring to Wolverine as Hugh in the movie, and I was like, this is beyond the fourth wall. This feels like Deadpool making a movie about Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's bromance while making a Deadpool movie, more than it felt like a actual movie. Like when they were talking to Happy Hogan at the beginning, I was like, is that supposed to be Jon Favreau, the filmmaker and architect of Phase 1, or is that Happy? And then 4 minutes into that scene, I was like, oh, it's Happy. Like, it's not Jon Favreau's office, it's Happy. So there's enough points in that movie where I was like, are we on our Earth? Are we on 616? Are we in Fox timeline? Where are we? But my biggest issue with the movie, because I am so tired of multiverse, is that at the end, I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, they're going to kill this multiverse. They're going to kill this. They're going to shrink this down. We're going to get more concise stories and things leading up to this. And then they were like, psych, we actually didn't kill the Fox universe. So in Deadpool Wolverine 2, The Art of Bromance, you're going to get Affleck back as Daredevil, and you're going to get Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern because we're going to give you that Marvel DC crossover you've always wanted. Like, that's what it felt like to me, is that it like took it to the edge of having an impact on the MCU. And then at the last minute, they were like, wait, everybody lives. Timeline's still going. Fox still is here. And I was kind of like,
At the end of the movie, I found that surprising at the end of the movie, where I'm like, oh, I thought this was all about that universe is gonna die, but apparently it's still gone, which means that if they wind up doing an Avengers X-Men movie, are those the X-Men in question?
Probably not.
I mean, at the end of the movie, there's that whole like, I hope you had the time of your life montage. It felt like a fucking eulogy for the Fox Marvel movies.
Did you guys watch that and be like, oh, I kind of want to go revisit X2, or I kind of want to go revisit? I found myself wanting to go back and rewatch Blade and rewatch X2 and rewatch some of those movies watching that.
Yeah, I mean, I always kind of want to rewatch X2 because I actually quite like that one. It almost made me want to rewatch the Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm. Almost.
Fan Four Stick.
Fan Four Stick. Yeah, I mean, and the other thing that's also weird, back to the Marvel thing, is that on the big wall of stuff of the here's what phase, I guess 6 or 7 looks like, there's no mention of X-Men.
No mention of what?
The X-Men.
No.
You know, like maybe that's a thing that we will meet in Secret Wars, you know, and then come out of the other end of that, but that doesn't seem to be on their immediate to-do list.
Did they say when Secret Wars was coming out? Is it 4 years?
27.
3 years?
3 years.
Yeah, May 2027.
So they think that Fantastic Four is going to carry everybody into Avengers. Then they launch Secret Wars. And then we play with X-Men for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think Secret Wars will do what we expected Deadpool to do, which is just like smash all these universes together. So if there was an Earth that had the X-Men on it, then they will now be collided with the Earth that didn't. So we can just all begin to just sandwich everything together, so it all exists in the same universe. So that's how you get a Blade and vampires and X-Men and mutants and all of that stuff.
Somebody said they screamed. Where is it? Ernie H. Town said, I yelled, fuck yeah, in a theater when I saw that crucified Wolverine. So did I. That was fucking deep cuts, man. I was like, holy shit. Absolute delight.
Short Wolverine. That was awesome.
Short Wolverine.
Yeah.
Calverine was fucking good.
Did you guys catch? A lot of people pointed it out that McConaughey was the Deadpool, the cowboy Deadpool, cowboy pool.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Fillion was the Headverine, the floating skull.
Headpool.
Headpool. And I feel like, you know, there was a bit of a bait and switch when Taylor Swift went with Jackman and Reynolds to the Super Bowl or whatever that was. It's like, she's gonna be in the movie. She's gonna be fucking Dazzler. It's like, well, maybe that was just to get the song. It's like, what will it cost to get the song? Take it to the Super Bowl and hang out with it.
Could very well be.
Because Blake Lively was Lady Pool.
Yeah. Did she play the physical part or just the voice?
I unclear, but
apparently Ryan Reynolds did not do the fucking in sync dance in the beginning.
No, wasn't him?
No.
No. Was it like
Can't be. I mean, thank God. Let there be something that guy can't fucking do. So accomplished in every other way.
Did speaking of NSYNC, you guys watch Dirty Pop? I think it's Dirty Pop on Netflix.
I did.
About the guy who started those bands. That's
Perlman
crazy.
is nuts. It was a big Ponzi scheme. I mean, it's crazy. And that's, you know, he did other things as well. You know what I just watched was A Quiet Place Day One.
I like that one.
It was well made. Don't get me wrong. Is a guy that did Pig with Nick Cage, but it was strange that like the family. I get it; it's a prequel, but like, what happened at the end of Quiet Place 2?
I'm scared of horror movies. I won't watch them. So
I couldn't remember. All of a sudden, like that, you know, Emily Blunt wasn't in the movie, and it was like the previous two movies was about her journey. I guess they've just kind of moved on.
Yeah,
since he wasn't the director. But Lupita was really good, and although fucking look, I love animals too, but that cat was worth way more trouble than it was worth. And the guy who is going to play Johnny Storm, man, Joe Quinn, he was in the movie, rocking his British accent.
I mean, people, my biggest problem was like, I've never met a cat that quiet, especially in the face of fucking aliens.
Kept waiting for that cat to meow the whole fucking movie and set it off, but nope.
Yeah, people are like, oh, it's a service cat. I was like, yeah, I mean, you could train a service cat to do some shit, but to not meow once when it's underwater, nah, G.
Yeah, there was one point where she was swimming, and I was like, wait, so the cat's in the bag?
No.
Cat drowning? How it worked
up there.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of cat tracking during that movie.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the dog in Independence Day. Like, listen, I don't care what happens to 100 million people. If you kill that fucking dog, then I break faith with this movie.
Right. Although there are some movies that kill the dog, and that creates the franchise. As in John Wick.
Did you kill a fucking puppy? Yeah, we did.
Never forget that. I was like, you know how fucking hard you got to go to make up for fucking killing a puppy? And they're like, hold my beer.
Bamf. Didn't Jaws kill the dog too?
He did, but you never saw it, but you're right.
It all goes back to
It's implied, man, right? Because he's like calling for the dog in the water. I mean, could you imagine you're that dog in Jaws and you're having the day of your fucking life, man? That motherfucker's throwing the stick right into the water for you to go after it. You're feeling like, you know what? Today's a good day to be a dog. Hey, what's that? Schwamp. Just fucking eating the fuck out of, man. You didn't even get the stick.
I always wanted to make a short film called Miles Bennett Dyson's Bad Day about the Joe Morton character in Terminator 2. Hey, man, I had a good day at the lab. We're cracking this whole fucking AI thing. Awesome. I'm going to go home, have dinner with my family, do a little work in the kitchen, hug my kids, and go to sleep. I had a great fucking day, and then get shot in the fucking shoulder because this crazy lady, this like time travel Karen, shows up at his house and perforates him. Like, I was having a great day. And then dies. Anyway.
I think we've exhausted our topics.
I think we've gotten to the bottom of the barrel, my friend. Do we want to do a little Q&A?
Yeah. Bamf, man, you got any cues that we can A? Meantime, kids, want to come to the 4:30 movie premiere at the movie theater where we shot it, Smog Castle Cinemas? Well, August 24th, it's happening. You can go get tickets right now at the430movie.movie. Kids from the cast are going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be good times. And it's a benefit for Smog Castle Cinemas, a 401c3 nonprofit organization. So you can write off your tickets. But if you can't make it to the premiere, no worries. It's going to be in theaters near you September 13th. Thanks to good Saban.
Somebody wanted to know, or Igor wanted to know, will a 4:30 movie come to Japan? As a Japanese person, I don't get much Kevin Smith movies lately. Are we getting we? I guess that's a we. I worked on the movie a little bit. Is it getting international at all?
I don't know. I'm my stuff doesn't really tend to travel outside the English speaking territories. It's, you know, like I remember Clerks got released in Japan along with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, like 2 years after
Wow.
Strike Back. So I wouldn't count on it, but that don't
VOD.
mean won't be able to see it. Yeah, VOD that shit. Get rid of those. What are those VPNs? What are they called?
Oh yeah.
Don't you worry about it. You'll be able to see the 4:30 movie. And I'm not one of those cats that's like, you gotta see it in a theater. You just gotta. If you can, great. If I can see it streaming, great. Catch it for free on a plane one day, great.
It's I love that movie. I think it's so good. Soundtrack's so good. It's all so
Soundtrack is
good.
killer. Number one, thank you for the kind words. But number two, fucking Bear McCreary's soundtrack is so wonderful. And that closing song that he does with his brother is just fucking magic.
It's an earworm.
It really is.
It's so wild.
Bars, as the kids say.
I would like to see this 4:30 movie.
Well, I know a guy who can fucking hook you up. Oh yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things.
It's sweet. It's a sweet movie. It's it's the only movie I could have made when I got out of the mental hospital. Like it's a fragile little movie, quite like the filmmaker was at the time, but it's incredibly fucking sweet. Incredibly sweet movie. And for those of us who grew up in the 80s, you know, it's like I remember it's member berries. Nostalgia porn to some degree.
Remember?
But yeah, it's we're getting closer and closer to people being able to see it. Very exciting. My 16th film.
Very nice.
Trying to get to 20. And if I get to 20, I'm gonna see if I can get to 25. Then if I get to 25, then I gotta get to 37. To have made 37 films and then drop dead, and people are like, yeah, remember he fucking made that 37 joke in his first movie? You know how many movies he made? Fucking 37. It'll be like one of them Kennedy Lincoln things. People talk about in bars when they're like, hey, fucking, you know, he did. Anyway. I'm done with my fucking sketch. Let's have a question.
All right. We got some good ones.
Before we do the question, Cincinnati, Kentucky, Kingsport, Tennessee, man. I'm coming your way. Cincinnati, I'm doing a show on August 8th. August 9th, I'm going to be in Lexington, Kentucky doing a show. And then on August 10th, I'm going to be in Tennessee, Kingsport, Tennessee at the Smoky Mountain Fan Fest. Tickets for all these things at csmod.com. Then I'm doing my birthday, you know, back east, of course. But we're celebrating my birthday out here on, I think it's August 17th when we do Hollywood Babylon at the Flappers Comedy Club. Tickets for all of this shit at csmod.com. Hey, when are we going to do another one at the live show at the fucking cantina there, Banff man?
I am anytime after August 6th I can do.
All right, we'll come up with a date. That's good for me too. I'll be back east. It won't be until I get back, and I get back, I want to say like the 11th or something like that. So we'll figure out a date. We'll figure out a date and let you know, kids.
Yeah.
Come see us live in the bar.
It's been a minute.
Watch me and Mark get drunk.
It's been a while.
In a while, I'll be drinking that blue milk. I'll be working the udders of that blue milk cow, just sucking it straight off the teat.
Going hard on those teats.
All right, Banff man.
All right. First question from Sergio Juarez. If you could be a Deadpool variant, which one would you be?
Well, not Nice Pool. He had no regenerative powers.
No.
Kid Pool. You got your whole life ahead of you. Lady Pool. I've done the man thing for 54 years. Let's fucking see how the other half lives. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna go with. Lady Pool looks like she's got a lot going on.
No doubt. What about you, Mark?
I'd be a pool boy who just skims the top of pools for a while.
AKA butter maker.
Or like armchair detective pool.
Oh boy. I like it.
Pool that's coming my way as I skim the top of this pool.
A lot of people are saying silent pool. No. Who fucking wants a silent pool?
Whoever made X-Men Origins Wolverine wanted that.
Exactly. Look how well that worked out. No silent pool. All right, that's good. All right, we're off to the places.
Next question is from Brian Wayne, probably Bruce Wayne's multiverse
cousin.
Yeah. Which comic characters from any company, and this question came in before your story, would you cast in a Grease made completely of superheroes?
All right, wait, say this again.
So if you were to cast the movie Grease, but using superheroes, any superhero, who would your cast be?
Batman. No, Joker and Harley. You know, she has to go kind of crazy, right, in order to get him at the end, and he'll try to clean up his act. He'll join the track team or something like that. Either that or Batman and Catwoman. She's always like, kind of naughty. She's already like, I wouldn't call her a bad guy, but she's in order to pull off the Grease story, Sandy's got to go, hey stud, like by the end. So getting Catwoman to leather, it's like, well, she's always in leather. I didn't know that. So you got to get somebody like in the Harleen Quinzel switch to Harley Quinn feels more like Sandy kind of going into leather and smoking cigarettes by the end of Grease. So I'm gonna go with Joker and Harley. And then what were they called? The T-Birds? No, is that be made up of various rogues gallery villains.
All right.
I got chills. They're multiplying. That line will be sung by Mr. Freeze, of course. That's my pitch. What do you got, Mark?
I got Frank Castle and Sue Storm.
Frank Castle and Sue Storm?
Yep. Frank Castle is Danny Zuko and Sue Storm is what's her face? Sandy.
So he has to go soft by the end and join the track team?
Yep. And she's got to go hard and put on the black leather.
And she's like, I'm wearing it. You just can't see it.
No, I swear I changed for you.
That's awesome. She said she changed for me. Gotta believe her.
Did you put up a fight? I don't know. I can't see.
What about I can't see. What about you, Banff man?
I'm not a big Grease person, but I would go Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey, and Logan.
Oh, that'll work.
Oh yeah,
that'll work. The classic. Did you see that Hugh Jackman recreated the Wolverine meme?
Yes.
Him laying on a bed and looking at the frame.
Yep.
Pretty awesome. Again, like fucking give it up for that Ryan Reynolds behind all that shit.
Oh yeah. No, he knows how to operate the internet.
The other meme I saw that was great was the Spider-Man meme, but they had the like 60, 70 Iron Man pointing at the 60, 70 Doctor Doom on the same plot of pavement.
That's awesome. All right, last question.
All right, this is from Mean Dave. If you could recast Robert Downey Jr. in any past Kevin Smith movie role, what would it be?
Delicious. Hold that thought. Ear Mixon in the chat says, is Danny Zuko related to Tony Zuko, who killed Robin's parents? In my version, Joker and Harley? Like a damn Skippy it is. But somebody did me better in chat. They were like, why is it Joker and Harley? Why don't you make it Harley and Ivy? And it's like, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's even better. It's hotter. Makes more sense too. Don't have some abusive asshole boyfriend to fucking work around and shit. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Who would I cast Robert Downey Jr. as in one of my flicks? Clerks, no. Mallrats, no. Chasing Amy, no. Dogma. I gotta get rid of somebody.
It would be a swap. Or I guess what role could you see him in? I guess you don't have to like erase, but
I would make him Jay's older brother.
Ooh.
Jay's dad. Just make him flat out Jay's dad.
Mm-hmm.
No. You know who he is? Buddy Christ. Robert Downey Jr. is Buddy Christ. In the Buddy Christ feature, spin-off movie from Dogma.
Nice.
Buddy Christ, a Dogma story.
If it was a remake, well, like somebody is remaking Mallrats, rebooting it, I would cast RDJ in Stan Lee's role, and he is the Yoda character for them, but speaking of, being Tony Stark in the MCU.
I love it. I'm on board with that 100%. In the Twilight of the Mallrats script, there's a whole fucking conversation between two characters about how Tony Stark was like the best.
Why Twilight of the Mallrats hasn't been made? You haven't come up with $50 million to cast Robert Downey Jr. yet.
Exactly. Fuck. That's been the problem. Now I know Disney set the tone. Now I know what to do.
All I need is this much money.
Call Lou Pearlman. He'll get that money for you.
That'd be a tough call to make. At the end, we find out, spoilers, buried in an unmarked family grave.
Ooh.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Bananas.
Shit. What about you, Mark? Are you going to answer that question?
I was thinking Marshall, Will, and Holly.
Oh, I like it.
I think it'd be fun.
That's right. Will Ferrell's like, thanks a lot, Mark.
No.
Yes.
He said Chicken Monkey said he said RDJ is the new Cardinal in Dogma since Carlin's not here. But I think he'd also be great as the dad in Jersey Girl.
Absolutely.
Not the little girl, not like Affleck's dad, not
right.
The girl dad.
In a world where he'd be replacing people we've lost in the movies, then he could be an excellent Metatron to take the place of the long, dearly departed Alan Rickman if you were doing a Dogma sequel, spinoff, something.
He'd also be great as Parks in Tusk.
Oh yeah, and as Parks in Red State, he could fucking make that dialogue sing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to cast him as my dad and just hang out with him.
It'll only cost you $50 million.
I want to cast him in a remake of The Courtship of Eddie's Father, and I'll play Eddie, and he'll play the Bill Bixby part. People, let me tell you about my best friend, RDJ. My former agent, Phil Raskin, who became like one of the fucking owners at WME, like had crossover with him. I think he reps him now or something. I think Robert Downey Jr. eventually went to WME, and I think Phil reps him. But I remember saying, like, when I was doing podcasting, I was like, bro, I fucking love Robert Downey Jr., man. Like, please, like, ask him to come to my house, do a podcast. And he was like, he would never do that. I said, why? He goes, you smoke weed constantly. It's like, this dude goes nowhere near anybody that fucking does anything. No drinks, no booze, no nothing. You'd have to clear the alcohol out of your house and stuff like that. And I was like, I would do it. They never made it happen.
I'll go to his house.
I was backstage. I almost ran over and fucking asked him to take a selfie with him. Like, when I saw him backstage, I was like, this is the closest I've been to Robert Downey Jr. Red Hot Minute. I should run over there. But then I didn't do it. I chickened out. I was starstruck. So I didn't get a picture with Robert Downey Jr. But I did get a Matt Groening, Maggie Simpsons fucking portrait.
One of those you can hang on a wall.
That's true. Kids, have you had a good time? Did you enjoy catching up with San Diego? Vis-a-vis me and Mark and Banff man himself, JC. It's been a pleasure to nerd out with y'all this evening. Remember, if you're writing stories after this about, like, Kevin Smith said, just, I ain't saying it. The whole world's got to do what I like. I was just saying what I like, and I like the idea of Robert Downey Jr. being Doom.
Also, for all the people in chat who are like, JC and Mark hated Deadpool, I don't think we said we didn't hate that we hated it or that we didn't like it. We just said it wasn't a movie. It was like 2 hours of meta stand-up,
which I was there for. Fuck yeah. Kids, fucking, it's good times when you engage with the shit you love. I'm telling you, I fucking felt I felt so happy when he took off the mask and it was Robert Downey Jr. And it really did fire up my imagination. Ever since, I've been thinking about, oh my God, what's the future gonna look like? Like, what's gonna happen when fucking Dr. Doom meets fucking Peter Parker? His mask comes off and he's like, oh, Mr. Stark. Yeah, man, that's good. You know what it reminded me of? Reminded me when I was a kid, for like 2 years, I would dream about what Empire Strikes Back was going to be. And I'd play Empire Strikes Back with my action figures and stuff. Just, it fired me up. When I saw Empire Strikes Back, I was like, this is even better than my imagination. So it reminds me of that. If I could get excited about shit that's like a year away, 2 years away, 3 years away, and I'm going to be 54 years old and I'm still fucking excited about the notion of, like, Dr. Doom being in a movie. And mind you, it's not like he hasn't been in a movie before, but this time around, he's going to be fucking in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now Robert Downey Jr. is going to play him. Like, all of this is just my happy place, man. It makes me so happy. I was so delighted when he took off that mask. And I remain enthralled with the notion. Can't wait to see what the possibilities are.
Can I make a suggestion for you?
Please.
In one of your 37 films?
Yes.
You've done the perfect Star Wars thing, because the first movie was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So then you're going to do Store Wars. So you're mixing up the order, right? You didn't start with one. You need to do a Return of Jay and Silent Bob, or Return of movies or something, at some point before you are done, so that you have your, I know Reboot is kind of like your trilogy, but I feel like you need to hit all 3 of the Star Wars titles.
Now there's a trilogy within the trilogy possibility here.
Yeah.
Kids, we love talking about this shit. We're glad that you hung out with us tonight while we talked about this shit. Good times to be had with the culture that pops. There'd be no show, though, without the man trapped in the little box to my left, lower left. Let him out, kids. He deserves it. Let him breathe. It's the maestro, Marc Bernardin, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
And give it up for the man who bamps, ladies and gentlemen, J.C. Riefenberg. And that's all we got for you, man.
That's it.
Yeah. Go out and do some fun, creative shit. Yeah, you want to go to the 4:30 movie premiere? Well, go to the430movie.movie and scap some tickets, man.
Do it.
Come out and see it. It's a few weeks away, August 24th. So less than a month away at this point. That's the premiere. And then, of course, the movie will be in theaters everywhere September 13th. Thanks to the good folks at Saban. Can't wait for you to see it. Good time. Sweet little movie. Kids, such a pleasure hanging out with you. Make sure you go see Deadpool and Wolverine if you haven't yet. They need the help, kids. Movies
Struggling.
This is working like a Kevin Smith movie at the box office. Just can't find its footing. Falling apart. There it is, my friends. For Fat Man Beyond, I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time. Same fat channel. Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Jeff's kiss, everybody. Mwah. See you at 54.
Oh, happy birthday.
This is the cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything.
Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith. Kissing you!